Keyshawn Smith, Romello Brinson, Restrepo, Ladson, Jacoby George, and many more. Miami is absolutely loaded with an elite group of receivers heading into the 2022 season. The majority of these guys will see playtime in some capacity because they're just too talented not to. The real question here, however, is who out of that position group will be the most productive in 2022? Let's talk about it. What's going on, Canes fans? I swear at this point, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I should just... you know what? I'm just playing. I'm actually really not that violent most of the time. But for real though, I've set a goal of hitting 20,000 subscribers on this channel in 2022, and you guys are doing an absolutely amazing job so far helping me push towards that goal. But I do think that we can do even better. So help your boy Coop out, smash the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and come be a part of the family. Come be a part of something special. And also, once we hit that 20,000 subscriber mark, I will be doing a live stream. It'll be a big party. We'll do some huge giveaways, and you will have to be subscribed to be eligible to win. So the way I'm going to work this video is I'm going to take a few minutes to hype up and describe the receiver that I personally think will be the most productive for us in 2022. And then at the end of the video, I will reveal his name. And no skipping to the end just to hear the name. I want you to hear me describe him, hype him up, and then I want you to kind of guess just mentally in your head and see if you got it right. Now, I do feel like I need to clarify what exactly I mean by most productive. It doesn't actually mean the most snaps. It doesn't mean number one on the depth chart. And believe it or not, it actually doesn't even necessarily mean the receiver with the most catches. To give you an example, if wide receiver A has 50 catches for 200 yards, but wide receiver B has 45 catches for 195 yards and 4 touchdowns, I'm going to consider wide receiver B, the second guy, more productive. He technically had 5 less catches and 5 less yards in total, but he also contributed 4 touchdowns with less catches and less yards. So you could really slice and dice this thing up in multiple different ways, but that's just personally how I'm addressing it and what I'm considering most productive. I literally just mean the most productive overall. This guy will overall contribute the most to the team out of this position group. Again, kind of slice and dice it up however you want, but you know what I mean. So the player that I have in mind recorded 24 receptions for 373 yards and 2 touchdowns last season. And his first ever touchdown as a Miami Hurricane was actually against the Alabama Crimson Tide in week 1. Now, his biggest and best performance last season was actually in the Pitt game, where he recorded 7 catches for 89 yards, and he was a very reliable target for TVD in that matchup. He's roughly 5'10", 195 pounds, and the last I heard, he runs a 4.5 40, roughly. And I actually owe this guy a big thank you because he played a big role in recruiting Jalen Knighton and getting him to come to Miami. And as you all know, Jalen Knighton, aka Rooster, is actually my current favorite Miami Hurricane. So a big thank you to for doing that. He's also just a really close friend of Tyler Van Dyke's, and because of that, there's just this natural chemistry and trust between the two of them. He's shown that he has the ability to change direction on a dime, and he reminds me a lot of former Miami Hurricane receiver Braxton Berrios, and this is mostly due to similar height and weight, and of course them playing the same position. Now, if you haven't guessed who it is by now, first off, I'm a little shocked and surprised. But second off, you're going to have to wait a few more minutes because I would actually like to give an honorable mention here. Another receiver that needs to be high up on your list is the 6'1", 188-pound, sure-handed Keyshawn Smith. There were many times last season that Keyshawn Smith showed some flashes, and I truly believe that in this new offense, he will really be able to shine. And it also helps to have a a competent coaching staff that can put him in the best position to succeed. He averaged 12 yards per catch last season and finished with 33 total catches for 405 yards and 3 touchdowns. Keyshawn Smith could be a touchdown scoring machine for us in the red zone this season. Literally just toss it up in the corner of the end zone and let that man make a play. And now back to my number one guy. He's hungry. He's got no fear. He's most definitely got some sticky hands. My man, Xavier Restrepo. Listen up. I'm telling y'all right now that the majority of Canes fans are sleeping on this dude. What is it again that our OC Josh Gaddis preaches about his offense? Speed in space, right? Well, in that case, Xavier Restrepo is your guy. And honestly, I would love to see us utilize Restrepo in some jet sweeps this season if we decide to implement those into the playbook. I feel like Restrepo's size and speed gives him the ability to kind of get lost in the sauce on a lot of plays, if you know what I mean. Guys tend to lose sight of where he's at, and on most plays, he ends up open more often than not. And boy, let me tell you, he is not afraid to be physical. I think you're going to see Restrepo be one of TVD's most reliable go-to targets in 2022. I believe that he will sort of be TVD's safety net in a way. He knows that if he looks Restrepo's way, that he's most likely going to be open. Now again, in no way am I downplaying any of the other receivers on our roster. We are absolutely blessed and loaded with talent in that position group. And I hope and pray that this coaching staff can put each and every one of those guys in the best position to succeed this season. Obviously, we'll have a much better idea of who steps up and who separates himself from the pack after spring. And then we'll also maybe at the very least get a slight feel for what this offense might be here at Miami. But for now, I'm rocking with the X-Man, XR7, Mr. Sticky Hands, Xavier Restrepo, to be the most productive wide receiver for the Miami Hurricanes in the 2022 season. And of course, I would love to see who you think will be the top receiver for the Miami Hurricanes in 2022 down in the comment section below. And you can feel free to just leave a name and nothing else, or you can put a name out there and then give me an explanation as to why you believe that that guy will be the most productive. And you don't even have to you don't have to say that most productive is the same as the way that I'm viewing it, right? You could come out and just say, I think that this guy's going to have the most catches. I believe that this guy will have the most yards. This guy will have the most touchdowns. Or I just think this guy will get the most snaps. You can kind of, again, chop it up in the way that you want to, the way that you're most comfortable doing down in the comment section. But I explained kind of what I meant by most productive, and I firmly believe that Restrepo is going to be that guy. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. And don't forget, guys, that spring practice is coming up real soon. It's going to be here before you know it. So stay tuned on this channel. I will keep you guys up to date. Of course, we'll, post a video recapping spring practice day 1. And then typically I either do a video every day or we go every other day. You guys have already seen the schedule for spring. And then, of course, we'll go through and go live for the spring game, which is going to be aired on ACC Network this season. And as always, the link man, Coop, will hook you up if you don't have ACC Network so you can watch the spring game for free. So I'm very excited about that, and we have some big things coming on the channel real soon.